Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Culinary Alchemy. I'm your alchemist, Cassie H. And today we are making nabe. Nabe is a general classification of Japanese food that just means anything cooked in a communal pot. So the specific recipe we're making is called beef sukiyaki, but it's in the nabe classification. So for beef sukiyaki and nabe in general, you get this big pot at a table, and you throw stuff in, you let it cook, you put liquid in there, you let it cook some more, and then everybody grabs out what they want. It's fantastic, actually. I'm super excited. So, what we've got today for beef sukiyaki, I've got about 2 pounds of beef that I just pulled out of the freezer, and I forgot to put in a nice pretty plate for you guys, but I have to slice it up in a second anyway. So we've got about 2 pounds of beef. We have tofu that I have cut from its big cube. I've cut it into slices like this, and I'll show you how I'm going to cut it into sticks. This is a head cabbage of Napa cabbage. It's an Asian cabbage. It grows tall, and it looks kind of funky, but it's very nice and tender. I very much like Napa cabbage. We have enoki mushrooms, which come in a great big cluster, and you just kind of separate them gently so they cook really nice and fast. These are a gluten-free soba noodle we bought at Jungle Jim's. They're actually made with black rice. You can't see them very well. They're in the package. I'm going to boil them in just a second. I made about 8 cups of beef broth to cook our nabe in. We also have a bottle of sake. I'm not going to show it to you because I'm not going to remove the label. And also about a cup of soy sauce. This is a Vietnamese brand of soy sauce. Thai, I'm sorry. I'm bad. It's a Thai brand of soy sauce, and it's super good. I had it with sushi the other day. Oh my god. Also, I prepared this stuff beforehand. So we have shiitake mushrooms that I cut the stems off. These are green onions I just cut at an angle. A daikon radish that I peeled and cut into rounds. Here, not super thick. Same thing for carrots. I peeled it and cut them into rounds. Just chewing stuff that'll be good and bring a different variety of textures to our beef sukiyaki. So let's get started. So for our tofu, like I said, this came in like a great big block, so I cut it into fairly thin slices. The thinner the slice, the faster it'll cook, but it'll also be kind of wibbly wobbly. Now this is super firm, I believe is what the package said. Extra firm. I could have bought it diced, pre-done, but I wanted to be awesome. So I've got 2 pieces here stacked on top of each other. Got use my knife as a level, get them all nice, and then just cut them to thin sticks. Sounds like my water for the noodles is boiling finally. It's taken it 20 minutes. You barely need any force to cut this tofu. You could almost use a butter knife to cut it into sticks here. But I've got my sharp knife since I'm cutting everything else up with it. I'm going to do my very best to preserve the shape of the tofu while I place it over there. And I've got everything on my biggest cutting board. That way, hopefully, almost all my vegetables will be able to fit, and it'll be nice and easy to just grab chopsticks and drop stuff in the nabe broth and get everything going nice. For the noodles, each one will have different directions on how to do it. So I'm not going to say these will boil for 20 minutes. This specific package here says they boil 4 to 5 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do since I can track the time. Oh my gosh, this package is hard to open. Look at those beautiful black rice noodles. I am so excited to eat these. They've been sitting in my pantry for a week. I keep going, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So I'll just unwrap them gently. And it says submerge them slowly. There we go. And then there's 3 bundles in here. I know Nabe uses a specific kind of noodle. Most recipes have a different kind of noodle listed. If you don't have an allergy like me, then, you know, feel free to find an Asian mart and use that specific noodle. Because of my allergy, I had to find rice noodles that would work. And these happened to be super pretty. And I was like, you know what? Japanese food is a lot about how it looks, so you're eating pretty food. So I decided to eat pretty food. I switched to my cooking chopsticks. I bought these at Jungle Gyms. They're super long. It's weird because I don't have the arm muscles for grabbing with these kinds of chopsticks. Oh no! I am so far failing. How will I be a Nabe shogun? With our noodles done and out of the way, it's time to chop up some napa. Now the recipe I have here, it says to remove the leaves from the head of napa cabbage, rinse them, which I've done, and then stack them up and cut them at an angle. Since I'm right-handed, it's going to be a right angle. And it says every 2 inches. I'm going to just guess at it because I don't have a ruler on me. These leaves are so ugly, I'm so sorry. I did not have pretty ones. I've got a bowl that will hopefully be big enough that I'm removing them to. Now these little ones, that one I could go without cutting. Probably just one cut. And obviously if you were left-handed, you would, you know, cut at the other angle. So this beef, it's been in the freezer for like 3 hours and it's not super frozen. Mostly because my freezer sucks, but also this is a very dense piece of beef. Now I made sure I found one with a lot of marbling. The marbling is the percentage of like fat to protein. So you can see lots of white streaks in this beef roast here. And that is actually what I want. It's cut a little funny from the butcher. There's some gristle there, but that'll be okay. What I wanted was a nice amount of fat because that'll give us more flavor. So we're going to slice this as thinly as possible. The thinner I cut it, the faster it will cook. So last step is the enoki mushrooms here. So we've got a decent bunch of these. So all you have to do is just separate them super gently into just bite-sized clumps here. These will cook pretty quickly in the nabe broth. Sukiyaki. So just kind of to your taste. I've read that these are very mild mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms much, but I will give them a shot because I am brave. I'm gonna separate these out a bit so it's less dense. It's all about cooking very fast. That way you can eat fast. So you can see we have our nabe assembled here on the table. It's traditional for guests to have bowls with raw eggs to dip everything in. I've beaten mine because I don't like whole yolks. That bothers me. We have more soy sauce for folks to dip their in their egg stuff. So inside this electric lidded skillet, we've already put our beef broth and our soy sauce, and we're kind of monitoring the temperature. So now we're going to add sake to the mix to just add flavor and also give it more broth to cook in. Like I said, this is all about adding the flavor and then cooking everything. Yeah. So, it's starting to boil. This is a good time to add it. Cook off the alcohol for like a minute. Is it a pull? Ha! That's magical.
Just pour in the whole bottle.
Yeah, just the whole. Look at that beautiful sake. And I did actually make sure the sake was gluten-free. And we did not buy the most expensive sake. It was like $20-something, I think, for this whole bottle. Not a whole lot. So once this comes right back to a boil, we're going to get started. So I just used the ladle and I tried the soup, and the broth doesn't taste super alcoholic. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking. So the daikon radishes and the carrots are all fairly big. So I'm going to put some of those in first. I am failing a little bit. There we go. We were actually just discussing chopstick technique, and since I learned from the back of, you know, the wooden kind at restaurants, I hold mine funny, according to my raging Asian camera lady.
I'm not saying that mine's politically correct. I'm just saying it's messed up.
Yeah, well, there's more than one way to, you know, carry a knife or a fork or chopsticks or whatever, so it's cool to try. And that's what Nabe's about, is, you know, talking to friends and hanging out and, you know, learning new things. So it's an awesome experience all around. And chopsticks are uneven.
Let's say Trenton texted me and asked if he could come over. I told him I don't know. I'd ask.
Anyway, you guys don't need to see me trying to grab a bunch of carrots. So I'm also going to put a little bit of beef in. So think about an order of cooking time. The mushrooms and the napa and the noodles and the other mushrooms, it's not going to take very long to cook. So think about timing. This stuff is going to take about 3 to 5 minutes. And the beef is thicker than I wanted it to be. But it won't take super long. So I'm going to let these cook for a bit, add beef, and then add other stuff that only cooks for like 2 minutes. And then we're going to start eating. It's going to be awesome. So I forgot the annotations before. So it'll probably be in the first shot. But yeah, somewhere in the video there'll be annotations for stuff that'll make you sick in this. I'm sorry. I suck. But anyway, we've got all of the carrots and the daikon in here. And the meat. And if we wanted to start eating right now, we could. You could add your greens, and if you wanted your vegetables to be, you know, hard, that's totally fine. If you wanted to let them get completely cooked and be like, save that one for me, I want that one to be mushed, you could do that too. Nabe's all about family and friends and just eating and having fun. Interestingly, while I was doing research for this, there's a term that I wanted to share with you guys. It's called Nabe Shogun. And the Nabe Shogun is a person who dictates who eats what and when and how much. And if they don't get their way, they get super angry. Normally it's like the father of the household, or, you know, the most angry member of the household. I thought it was really funny how it's like, you know, they would just eat all the meat and be like, you all get vegetables, 'cause I said so. Oh, you had a funny joke. You can have a piece of meat. Have this dry, shriveled piece. There's also a term called the fat skimmer, somebody who's like designated to just skim the fat off the top to improve the flavor of the nabe. There's a whole lot, like there's this whole host of nabe related terms, and it's a really cool thing to get into, and I highly suggest it. I'm super looking forward to eating. So that pretty much wraps it up for this episode of Culinary Alchemy. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like and give us a subscribe up above. I will post the recipe down below, and any edits you want to make in the actual recipe, because it's all about what's best for you and what you want to eat. So have a great nabe this week, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye!